Yeah. I'm Cody Ward. This is a presentation on ethical dilemmas in the workplace, or internship rather, for the Field Practicum seminar. This actually happened my first day on the job. We had just come back from a weekend when several of our students at the high school I'm working at with my supervisor, Ms. Brody, came to us and were talking about a new woman that had moved in with one of our other students. The student in question was 16, named Jake here. The woman was said to have just been released from jail for having sex with a 15-year-old, having served her time, but still, the red flags were raised. We thought, surely that couldn't, be in line with parole or whatever. So we went to the ethical rules screen, ERS. We went over the code of ethics, and of course, there was a policy in place to cover something like this. It fell under the mandated reporter protocols, and so we just, from there, followed the policies. First, we brought the situation to the principal. He advised us to call DCFS, which we were already planning to do, and let the investigation from there happen. Some of the successes, the investigation did turn out that this woman was a convicted sex offender. She was non-compliant. She had not notified anybody in the surrounding area. She was listed on the database as homeless and, violating her parole to, be living with a 16-year-old in the house. Some of the failures, because of the involvement, Jake's father was cited as a danger to his well-being, and Jake was moved across the street in with his grandmother. His mother, who has been nothing but a hurdle to the kid's school career, she has constantly been fighting, any kind of services that have been proposed, and just making the situation a lot worse as far as emotional standpoint for Jake. And we noted, if she wanted to, she could easily get custody back using this. And I think what really struck me the most about this was Jake's reaction in itself. It was almost like, he, after the arrest was made and everything, he wasn't the same person. He was very depressed, very mopey. It was almost like, he had convinced himself that he was in love with this woman when she was just using him for a place to stay and other things. Because of the policies and everything, there wasn't really a whole lot of ambiguity. The wording of the policies and the mandated reporter statutes by the state very clearly put out a course of action to follow, and we followed what we were told and what we knew. The only real ambiguity here was, there was a brief moment of, do we act on it because, we haven't been able to talk to Jake himself. This is all kind of a third-party hearsay, but when the students started corroborating each other's stories and, without prompting, just, how was your weekend? Oh, so-and-so, we didn't have a whole lot of reason to doubt. So in closing, this was a very, very important experience, I think, to have, because got me familiar with the policies, got hands-on experience with, trying to get all the situation and getting the report made and everything. Got a better idea of the timeline of, when you make the call and when the investigation actually starts and possible repercussions and everything like that. So it was a very important experience for me. So, any questions?
Do you guys have any? I've got a couple, but I didn't know if you guys had any. No. So my first question is, what values do you think were playing into this? While you use the ERS, which is very straightforward, what, of the 6 values, which one do you think kind of guided this?
I think it was, a protection of the quality of life. I mean, there was no physical danger that we knew of.
Mm-hmm.
The woman had no history of violent offenses, and it was more of a, quality of, the household environment and whatnot.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And then when you went through the ERS, basically there's state laws, but if you think about the values then, and you're talking about like protection, right, of life, as being kind of a hierarchy, and service and maybe even human dignity. But when we think about, those statutes are in place, why are those in place for Jake, quote unquote, and not for us as adults? What's the difference?
The level of maturity, I think it is. He's 16, hormones are high, and doesn't have the life experiences yet to really formulate a well-rounded, I guess, response to it. And someone like this woman could easily take advantage of that. And
sure,
so.
Absolutely. Anybody else want to add to what makes Jake different than us? There's only one thing that makes Jake different than us. He's a minor, right? He's a minor. His maturity level, right? Psychosocially, that's what kind of categorizes him. And so while he may have been in love or really in a relationship with this person, you can remember your first, teenage, love, right? That may be true, but he's not able to make those decisions, right, with someone that's not of the same, right, age, level of ability, maturity, right? So that's what kind of makes this very different, which then put Cody straight to the ERS, right? Really, any ambiguity was like, okay, is it true or not? But if it's true, we're definitely, right? There was nothing else after that. It would have been a streamline. Great. Anything else come up while I was talking? No. Let's give a clap.